Hello, everybody. Welcome to Truthworthy. This is Levi Pingleton with Catholic Apologetics International. Visit us at robertsongenis.com, journey to the center of the universe.com, and robertsongenis.substack.com. You can visit me at levipingleton.substack.com, at my Facebook page, and also at the Truthworthy YouTube channel. Just look it up at Truthworthy. Also, be sure to visit our friends, colleagues, and family at the Kolbe Center for the Study of Creation with Mr. Hugh Owen at kolbecenter.org, kolbecenter.substack.com, and at the Kolbe Center YouTube channel. Just look it up at Kolbe Center. Today, what I'm going to be getting into is called the traditional Catholic scientist. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Science, while an essential tool for understanding the world, must always be grounded in moral principles. For the well being of humanity depends more on virtue than on technological advancements. History has shown us that true happiness comes from living according to moral truths, not from scientific progress alone. If science ever contradicts ethical principles, ethics must take precedence. Without strong moral foundations, scientific knowledge can easily lead us astray. At the same time, natural science is fundamentally limited by the truths that underlie it. Knowledge cannot emerge from false premises, and any understanding of the world must be rooted in the true causes of things. Science cannot be free in the sense of being detached from presuppositions. It inevitably borrows from philosophy, which provides the essential truths that support sound reasoning. To reject these philosophical foundations would be to strip science of its very ability to discover the truth. Moreover, the progress of science is also bound by the tools and resources at our disposal. Technological advancements, like the telescope and the microscope, expand our capacity for discovery, but they cannot bypass the need for proper ethical and philosophical guidance. The institutions that conduct scientific research, whether they are universities, laboratories, or observatories, are also influenced by by the philosophies and ideologies of their time. Whether those institutions are theistic or atheistic, Christian or anti-Christian, they will shape the direction of scientific inquiry. Ultimately, science must remain rooted in truth and guided by sound reason. It cannot afford to become an instrument of ideology or self-interest. Since the time of the 16th century, there have been calls for an autonomy of science, as if it could operate independently from the moral and philosophical principles that ground it. Such autonomy is illusory. Science cannot function without presuppositions, and when it denies them, it risks losing its ability to seek genuine understanding. All fields of inquiry, from the most practical to the most abstract, must be built upon the unchanging truths that govern the rational life of man. From a traditional Catholic geocentrist perspective, the relationship between science and faith is not just complementary, but inseparable. True science, as it was practiced by our ancestors in the Church, is founded upon the principle that God, as the creator of all things, holds the key to understanding the world. When we look at nature, we see a masterpiece, a world designed with purpose and order. Every creature, every plant, every celestial body exists for a reason, to serve the divine plan of creation that happens right here on this earth with us humans. This profound order points us to the designer, and from this we can reasonably deduce the existence of an uncreated, omnipotent God. In this view, science should not be limited by arbitrary assumptions. When the scientist accepts the teachings of Christ, he does not need to rely on baseless postulates. Instead, he begins with the premises grounded in reason, observing the natural world, recognizing that its design implies a designer, and proceeding logically from there. Such a scientist does not fall prey to the presuppositions of modern anti Christian science, which limits itself with prejudices against the faith. These modern, these modern systems reject the reality of a creator and, in doing so, constrict their own ability to arrive at truth. For the traditional Catholic scientist, the world is not just a random collection of particles or blind forces. It is a created order with purpose. The very fact that that nature operates in an orderly and purposeful way points to a creator. We understand the laws of nature not as arbitrary rules, but as reflections of God's divine will. And when we turn our attention to the cosmos, still and majestic in its design, we see that the earth is at the center, the way scripture and sacred tradition have always taught. This geocentric model is not merely an ancient view, it is in full harmony with the teachings of the church, which holds that which holds that God has placed mankind at the center of his creation, with the earth as the very focal point of the universe. The scientist who holds to the Catholic faith can embark on any scientific pursuit free from the constraints that anti Christian ideologies impose. He doesn't need to embrace endless hypotheses that reject divine purpose, such as the Copernican principle, which falsely places man and earth as insignificant in the vast, purposeless cosmos. True science, rooted in faith and reason, is not limited by these false notions. Instead, it leads to ever deeper appreciation of God's creation, from the motion of the planets to the tiniest detail of life on earth. Moreover, when one's scientific work is built upon faith, it is not only an intellectual pursuit, but a spiritual one. The Catholic scientist can begin with the recognition of God as the Creator, and from there move to a deeper understanding of the natural order. And when it comes to the study of the Scriptures, these are not just historical documents, but the very words of God, divinely inspired and trustworthy, inerrant to down to the very letter. Through the study of sacred scripture, we come to understand the world and ourselves more deeply, affirming the reality of the supernatural and confirming the faith that we hold. In contrast, the modern anti Christian scientist, driven by prejudice against God and revelation, cannot help but distort the natural world. Their assumptions lead them to confusion, contradictions, and chaos as they seek to explain everything without reference to the divine. The truth, however, remains that outside these bounds, and the Catholic, pardon me, the truth, however, remains outside of these bounds, and the Catholic, whose science is rooted in God's revelation, is the only one truly free to discover the world as it truly is, created, purposeful, and directed by the hand of a loving Creator. And this is Levi Pingleton with Catholic Apologetics International. Visit us at robertsongenis.com, journeytothecenteroftheuniverse.com, and robertsongenis.substack.com. And be sure to visit our colleagues, friends, and family at the Kolbe Center for the Study of Creation with Mr. Hugh Owen at kolbecenter.org, kolbecenter.substack.com, and at the Kolbe Center YouTube channel. Just look it up at Kolbe Center. Also, visit me at levipingleton.substack.com, at my Facebook page, and also at the Truthworthy YouTube channel. Just look it up at Truthworthy. Pax Dominis et Semper Vobiscum. Happy Independence Day. I hope you have a blessed July 4th and enjoy all the fireworks and fun. And I hope that you'll come back and watch again. God bless you.